This video we're going to talk about needles. It's very important that people who are going to operate embroidery machines or sewing machines, they understand the anatomy of the needle. What I want to show you is what is the front of the needle. When you see this long groove, that it's the front of the needle. We got the eye of the needle and the tip. Now there are two different tips. Actually, there are more different tips, but the most common tips are the sharp point and the ball point. Now, what's the difference of those two different tips? Well, the sharp point works very well on stiff materials, and the ball point, you can use it for delicate materials. It's simple as that, because I have seen charts where it says, okay, for all this materials you can use ball point, and for all these materials you can use sharp point. I think the simplest way to understand it is sharp point, stiff materials, ball point, delicate materials. I think that's the easiest way to understand what type of a needle you want to use in your embroidery project. Now, the other side of the needle, we got a scarf. Can you see it right there? This is the scarf. This scarf goes to the back when you install the needle in the machine, because here is where the rotary hook passes and grabs the thread in order to produce the stitch. So it's very important that every time you install a needle on your machine, you put this little scarf on the back and this big groove on the front. Okay, so basically this is the front of the needle and this is the back of the needle. Now, for the commercial embroidery machines, this area right here of the needle, we call it the shank. And for commercial industrial, you have to use round shank. It's very important when you buy your needles, you buy the correct needle. So the Rdeline embroidery machine uses a round shank. Unfortunately, I don't have a big needle with the round shank. When I purchased this prop, this was the only big needle that I can find. But it's good because I can show you that the flat surface right here, it's for home-based machine or domestic machines, or we can call it as domestic needles. The round shank, it's fully round right here, that is the needle that you want to buy for most commercial embroidery machine. I think every commercial embroidery machine uses round shank. Okay, if you see the flat shank on the needles, they're not going to fit on the Rdeline embroidery machine. Okay, so once again, the front of the needle, the back of the needle. The scarf goes to the back, the groove goes to the front. Now, another important information that you need to know about needles is that there are different sizes of needles, but the most common needle is 7511. 7511 is the most common needle that everybody uses for most everything. However, I will highly recommend to have 8012 in stock and 7010. Those three sizes, I believe they are the most frequently used needles. And the reason is because the 7010 allows you to make more detailed embroidery. Let's say that you have a project where the embroidery has a lot of a detail, very small detail inside the embroidery. The 7010 can help you achieve the quality that you want to give to your customers. So 7010, I think it's a very good needle to create small detail embroidery. Now, like I said, 7511 is the most common because it's in the middle, and most people can achieve very good quality with this type of a needle. So 7511, for sure you need to have that in stock because it's the most common use needle in the embroidery industry. However, the 8012 The 8012, it's a very good needle for caps or for stiff materials. If you have hard structure cap, I will highly recommend to use 8012. But if you don't have 8012, obviously the 7511, it's the best way to go, okay? Now, in these three sizes of needles, they are the sharp, and the ballpoint. Now, unfortunately, you can distinguish one with the other with the naked eye. I have compared those, and it's very hard to know which one is sharp and which one is ballpoint. But there are ballpoint and there are sharp. Now, I highly recommend to have the two different tips, ballpoint and sharp, in these three sizes. You will never know what project it's going to come, and you never know what type of a needle you're going to use or what type of a needle is going to help you achieve the quality that you're looking for. How to select the correct needle? Sharp point, stiff materials. The stiffer the material is, you use sharp point. If you have a delicate material, ballpoint. Simple as that. 7511, for most every garment, every fabric that you're going to stitch, if you want to try it with 7511, perfect. But if you're struggling a little bit, if it's like a very small embroidery with a lot of a detail, 7010. And if you're stitching caps, if you're stitching stiff materials, don't doubt it, just go to 8012 needle. I hope this information can help. Thank you for watching.